Hey guys, Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
So you all know us from That Pedal Show. Today we're doing a very special piece for Guitarist magazine, and following on from
Video 1,
we have video 2. We're talking about overdrive pedals, this time with a mid-range push to them.
a mid-hump as we call it.
Mid-hump.
Right, and now it gets really interesting.
So the first pedal we're going to have a look at is the Fabled Tube Screamer.
Just as a point of interest, my favourite overdrive pedal of all time ever.
Okay, and why is that, Nick?
Because Stevie Ray Vaughan used one.
Okay, and what did Stevie Ray Vaughan play?
He played a Fender Stratocaster,
Yes.
predominantly,
Yep.
into predominantly Fender amps.
Okay.
And we know that that's why the Tube Screamer put back all that mid-range that wasn't there in the guitar.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
Exactly. So the idea is that with the Fender amplifier, the classic American sound, okay?
On the subject of which, we have two amplifiers. We have a Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb, and we have a Marshall JTM 45. So,
Tell you what, you got the Strat.
okay.
Let's hear that 65.
Okay, so this is a John Mayer signature Strat, and it's tuned down to E flat because that seems appropriate for what we're doing. So.
Okay, so very scooped sound. We've got a warm bottom end. We've got a very crisp top end.
Accentuated by the fact that it's got that Jensen speaker in. It's a
Yes.
special edition one. It's got a Jensen speaker which does have quite sizzly highs, so that's, you know, that. And that's with the treble almost completely off on that amp, so lots of treble.
Right. Now, when we hit that with the Tube Screamer, we get this. There it is. Okay, now let's hear the same thing into the Marshall. So we hear the mid-range is all there. Okay, now when we hear that with the Tube Screamer. Sounds awesome, yeah? But you hear how that mid-range is pushed on top of that pretty flat sound. So that's why the Tube Screamer works really well with those American voiced amplifiers. That, you know, where there's naturally a bit of a mid-scoop, the mid-range push of the Tube Screamer just evens it out.
And we've got it set here as a lot of people set Tube Screamers, level high, overdrive fairly low. So it gives you that kind of boosty,
Definitely.
the boosty thing.
With the Tube Screamer, when you start pushing the overdrive up, it can get a little bit unruly, shall we say.
There's a lot of compression, isn't
Yeah,
there?
yeah, exactly. So go for it. Yeah. So as soon as you turn it above noon, you're just compressing more, and that's great. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
sound,
it's
but
good
you know,
sound.
the sound that we know and love. We want to hear as much of the guitar as possible. Is, you know, overdrive just behind, you know, midday, 12 o'clock. So yeah, there's the Tube Screamer.
I just want to do this a minute. The Fender?
So that's the Fender.
That is the Fender.
Yep. And the Marshall. Yeah.
Definitely the Fender is that sound.
That's the
isn't it?
sound. That
Yeah,
is the sound.
that is the sound.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's just hear it with some humbuckers then, because the effect of using humbuckers with a Tube Screamer.
Okay. The Les Paul already has a lot more mid-range in it than the Strat. Okay. So let's have a look at the Fender by itself. You know, this is an exceptionally wonderful guitar. Has the sort of low wind pickups. It's a lot cleaner and doesn't have that crazy mid push like a lot of Les Pauls do. So that's with the Fender, and now with the Tube Screamer into the Fender. That'll work.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
See, I was expecting that to sound really middly and overly like kind of unpleasant, but that sounds blooming great.
No, you get the right Les Paul, and it'll work with the Tube Screamer. But now we hear that into a Marshall. Rock!
That is a guitar sound.
It's great, isn't it?
That's a guitar sound.
Yeah.
And who'd
really.
have thought? 3 things that you wouldn't normally put together. Les Paul, Tube Screamer. Well, you put those 2 together, but maybe not the Tube Screamer in that mix.
Yeah. So, fantastic sound. So, the pedal we all know and love, and it's we all know and love it for a reason. The thing about the mid frequencies, this is the frequencies that guitarists live in, all right? It's where we should live in. We're not bass players, we're not playing the triangle. We're all about those lovely, warm, mid-range frequencies, yeah? It's wonderful to have these huge, massive guitar sounds with a crazy big bottom end. The reality is, when you get into a band context and your frequencies are then fighting for a place, what the Tube Screamer does is it pushes the natural frequencies of the guitar, it just gives them a lift.
Actually, we touched on this before, but I've been in metal recording sessions where metal producers have got, let's say, some kind of modern guitar with some crazy active humbuckers or something, or even just real super high output passives, and they'll have that into something like a messaging rectifier, but they'll have a Tube Screamer in the front, A, because it's pushing the front end of the amp, and B, because it's shelving off a whole load of bottom end, so you don't get that messing up with the bass drum and all the rest of it.
So what do we know about classic metal sounds?
Yeah.
Massive bottom end, massive top end, and they just kill everything around 1K. That's the goat screaming metal sound, yeah? The Tube Screamer, especially if they're doing solos in that sound, to put that back.
Just pushes it back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we move on to a very important pedal. This is the first series of the Love Pedal Eternity.
Now I'm going to admit something, because before we chose these pedals, Dan and I had a quick discussion about the 12 pedals we'd choose for these 3 videos, and he came up with that, and to my complete shame, I've never even heard one, and then we've plugged it in earlier and I'm going, where have you been all my life?
There you go. Very important pedal. One of the first pedals to sort of explode on the internet scene, the forums. So Sean from Love Pedal, who I've known for a long time, so this is the first series. This is one of the hand-wired made by Sean himself.
Yeah.
And it became a staple on a lot of artist pedal boards. It has a similar frequency range as the Tube Screamer. A bit more harmonic content, a little bit more low end. So if we listen to the Tube Screamer into the Fender. Now the Eternity. Isn't that great?
It's so already with the Tube Screamer, that is a Keeley modded one, so it's already got a little tiny bit more bottom end than a regular TS-808 reissue, but it's really not that different. The Love Pedal is probably what a lot of people want a good 808 to be, right? Because it's got that extra low end.
The thing about Sean, he has an amazing set of ears. He's a killer guitar player as well. And he tweaked and tweaked until he got it right. Sent it out to a few people, and it's just like, this is the pedal I've been searching for my whole life. And of course, on the forums, that it really took hold. A lot of people got them looking for that sound with their Fender amplifiers. I've found this is, again, I've been using this with the Voxes and a whole bunch of different things. It does have that mid-range push, but if you're doing a solo, it's just fantastic. So I want to hear this with the Strat.
Okay, we'll stay with the E flat tuned Strat to keep things together.
Yep. So let's go from the Tube Screamer.
Yeah. So let's see. Like that a lot.
Yeah. Now let's hear that into the Marshall. Killer. Very natural compression, you know, great harmonic content, all the things that you want in the Tube Screamer. It's voiced very similarly, just a little bit more love in the bottom end, you know. It's a really great thing. And it stacks really well with other pedals. So yeah, I wanted to include that because that's one of the first pedals that, you know, really the forums really embraced and became a staple for a lot of people in that mid-hump area. And then, of course, we have the fabled Clan Centaur. So
insert hate comments here.
Yeah, but a very important pedal. So when this came out, it was immediately picked up by a lot of well-known artists, including John Mayer. Who else uses them?
Everyone.
Okay.
Every decent guitarist that appeals to me as a player. So David Grissom, Warren Haynes,
Yes.
Philip Sayce, all of those
Philip
players.
Sayce.
Yeah, all of those players who've got that kind of. Anyway, they all use them and they all like them.
Okay.
Bonamassa.
So, what it is about the Clan Centaur compared to the Tube Screamer? We've done this before with these two pedals, and it's really interesting how much of the guitar is still present. It doesn't sound like a pedal, you know. So let's have a listen. We'll use the Tube Screamer as to give it some context into the Fender. Clan.
Still got that mid boosty thing going on.
Absolutely.
How much gain are we running there? Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, okay. We'll turn it down in a minute. But
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to balance them up between the two. So again, Tube Screamer. Clon.
Clearer sounding.
With this, okay.
It's going to make all the difference.
Yeah. Tube Screamer. Clon. Clon into the Marshall.
It's at this point where I always say how good that Tube Screamer sounds.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So Tube Screamer into the Marshall. Now with a Clon. What the Clon does, we were talking before about transient response and how important that is. The Clon is very quick. It grabs the note very, very fast. So you hear more of the attack, you know, but they're voiced very similarly.
Yeah. Everyone says that you can hear the guitar more in the Clon.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably true.
Okay.
I think that's probably true. To wit,
Yeah, let's make that happen.
So this is quite a different sounding instrument. So what have we got?
So this is Klon into the Marshall. Now, Tube Screamer is the Marshall. Can you hear the Tube Screamer is a bit softer?
Definitely
Yeah.
softer.
So that is why people love, the Klon. It just helps with that attack a little bit. But the other thing about the Klon is people use it more commonly, because this is set up as an overdrive pedal, yeah? But people use it very commonly as a boost.
Yeah.
So what I want to do, I'm going to set this up as a boost now, so I'm going to turn the gain down.
This is how I would use it.
Yes,
In
absolutely.
fact, how I do use it.
So let's turn the gain down. If you can play that again. So just for reference, here's our clean sound in the Marshall. The Klon. Beautiful.
I do like it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to show you, so that's that as a boost into the amplifier. I want to show you how the Klon works as a boost into another pedal. So I've got this, the B.K. Butler tube driver set up here. Now, everyone will know this as the Eric Johnson pedal, the David Gilmour pedal, Davey G. So, it's a really well-known, very dynamic sounding overdrive pedal.
So we're continuing our mid-humped theme, but we're actually going back a little bit in time for the tube driver.
We
right?
are indeed.
Yeah.
So the tube driver is a warm.
Yeah.
It's actually not that warm, but it's a very responsive overdrive pedal that's sort of, it reacts like the preamp of an amplifier.
Yeah, and of course it's got a valve in it, right?
It's got a valve in it.
Yes.
Yep. So this is the tube driver into the Marshall. So really natural sounding, you can see why, guys like Eric Johnson and David Gilmour really like them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to push the Klon into the tube driver. Ready?
It's quite sharp sounding. There's quite a lot of treble and high end in there. What controls have we got on there?
So this is with the EQ set almost off,
Yeah.
and it is a very sharp sounding pedal, which
Right.
is why, when guys step on it for solos, it helps with the cut.
Yeah. So what happens if you give it more drive?
Well, let's make that happen.
Sorry, it's me doing bad Eric Johnson impressions again, but
Now with the drive set like that, well, let's boost into the tube driver
What, there's
with
more?
the Klon. Yeah, let's give that a go. So there's,
Ouch.
yeah,
Same thing.
same thing. Right. So tube drive it into the Marshall. Okay. So, but that's quite a lot of drive. I'd probably, you know, nail it down a little bit. Now with the clon into that. So there you go. That is so the whole mid-range thing is about boosting those guitar frequencies, using them as overdrive pedals or using them as boosters into other gain stages. But you can see, you know, especially with American voiced amplifiers, why they're so loved.
So there we go. Mid boost overdrives. That's 2 of 3 videos. Make sure you watch the other 2. So, what's your favourite combination that we've used today?
The love pedal, this into the Marshall, for me is very special. It's that extra bottom end that the love pedal has, but yeah, it's just a very special sounding thing. Yeah,
I think for me, I was expecting to say clon into the Fender, but in this room, I don't know, things change. That's another important thing to say. Things change all the time.
Definitely.
I'm loving my old Tube Screamer. Yeah. I remember why I bought it. I remember why I still got it.
With the Strat,
Fender amp.
Fender amp.
Happy days.
Perfect. That's the sound. It's so evocative. It reminds you of those, those classic Stevie Ray tones.
My misspent teens.
I hear. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you for the next video.